Lesson 4.8, divide fractions. To divide fractions, we multiply by its multiplicative members or the reciprocal. So again, the reciprocal is where we take a fraction and we flip it. Okay? So if we look at an example here, letter A, we have 3/4 divided by 1/4. Again, when I see the division sign with fractions, I know I need to multiply by the reciprocal. So how we do that is we leave our first fraction the same. So I have 3/4. Then times, now I want the reciprocal of 1/4. Again, the reciprocal is flipping it. So since I have 1/4, it now becomes 4/1. Okay? And then when we multiply fractions, we multiply straight across. You can cross simplify before if you want. So 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 1 is 4. Then we reduce that, and we would get 3. Okay, letter B. We have negative 4/5 divided by 8/9. Again, when I see the division sign, I know I need to multiply by the reciprocal. So we have negative 4/5 times, since we have 8/9, we're going to do the reciprocal, so we're going to flip it. So now we have 9/8. Okay, and then I can cross simplify. I know 4 goes into 4 once and into 8 twice. So now I have negative 1 times positive 9, which is negative 9. And then 5 times 2, which is 10. And then I have to simplify. Well, I know nothing goes into 9 that goes into 10, so we get negative 9/10. Okay? Letter C, we have negative 5/6 divided by negative 2/3. Again, I have a negative divided by a negative, so I know right now my answer is positive. And then when I go to divide, I multiply by the reciprocal. So we have negative 5/6 times, again, the reciprocal is flipping this fraction, negative 3/2. So again, we could cross simplify before if we wanted to start, or we can multiply straight across and then simplify. So I'd have negative 5 times negative 3 is positive 15. 6 times 2 is 12. To simplify this, I'm going to make it a mixed number. I know 12 goes into 15 one whole time. I have 3/12 left. I can simplify 3/12 to 1 and 1/4. Okay? Again, when we divide mixed numbers, it's the same thing as multiplying mixed numbers. We got to make them improper. So if we look at example D, we have 5 divided by 1 1/3. Again, I need fractions, and then I need improper fractions. So I would put 5/1 divided by 1 1/3 would turn into 4/3. So far I have done nothing to the problem, but I've made equivalent fractions. Okay, I haven't multiplied yet, the reciprocal, nothing. Now that I have improper fractions and fractions, I can go ahead and divide. So I have 5/1 times 3/4, because again I multiply by the reciprocal. I multiply straight across, and then I simplify. I know that 4 goes into 15 3 whole times, with 3 pieces left, and I can't simplify 3/4. Okay, example E, we have negative 3/4 divided by 1 1/2. Again, I need to make that mixed number an improper fraction. So I have negative 3/4 divided by 3/2. Now that I have improper fractions and fractions, I can go ahead and divide. So we have negative 3/4 times 2/3. Okay, I could cross reduce if I want. I know 3's go into each other one time. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 goes into 2 once. So I have negative 1 times positive 1, which is negative 1, and 2 times 1, which is 2. So we get negative 1/2. Okay? Example F, we have 2 1/3 divided by 5. Again, I need to make my improper fractions fractions, my whole numbers fractions. So my mixed number, 2 1/3, make it improper, would be 7/3. And then divided by 5/1. So again, when I divide, I multiply by the reciprocal. So we have 7/3 times 1/5. And then I can cross reduce if I want, or I multiply it, and then I multiply straight across. So 7 times 1 is 7. 3 times 5 is 15. And nothing goes into 7, that goes into 15. So it is simplified. Okay? And a story problem. On Saturday, Lindsay walked 3.5 miles in 1 2/5 hours. What was her walking pace in miles per hour, and write in simplest form? So now I want to know how many miles per hour did she go. So I need to set up my problem according to the labels they tell me. Or when we're dividing, we take how much we have, and we're dividing into what size of pieces or how many pieces do we want. So here it tells us miles per hour. So I know she went 3.5 miles, and I'm going to divide that by 1 2/5 hours to figure out how many miles per hour did she go. Okay, so since I have 2 mixed numbers, I need to make them improper fractions. So 3½ becomes 7/2. Divided by 1 2/5 becomes 7/5. Now that I have improper fractions, I can go ahead and multiply by the reciprocal. So 7/2 times 5/7. Again, I can cross simplify those 7s. Then I multiply straight across. 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 1 is 2. I make my improper fraction now a mixed number again. I know 2 goes into 5 2 whole times, and I have 1/2 left. So then now I know that she went 2½ miles per hour.